Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of a great series called Communities Unite. And what I've said it multiple times, but I'll say it again. That in every episode is about like people on the podcast coming back again for another episode. And yeah, so in today's episode it's all about IBD, Crohn's, colitis, because we've either got one or some may have both. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But yeah. So I'm going to ask everyone to introduce themselves, but in the order that Zoom says, like who's first on the screen. So I'm sorry if you're last. But yeah, Richard, you're first. So I'm going to get you to introduce yourself. You might have to put yourself on mute.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. So hello, I'm Richard, and I'm 31, and not 31, 35. Sorry, and I've got Crohn's disease and autism as well. I might as well throw that in there as well. I've had Crohn's ever since I was 18, so a long time.
Because we didn't do an episode too long ago, Richard, did we? It was only the other week.
But yeah, it was. Yeah.
But yeah, it's good to have you back on here, Richard. Because
thank you.
Because we only know because we both got Crohn's and autism. We only know. Well, I only know a couple more, but I think you only know me. So it's good that we done it in the first place, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Richard. Well, you'll be able to talk more about your Crohn's a bit later on after everyone's introduced themselves. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. I'll put you back on mute for the time being, just so everyone can introduce themselves.
Okay.
I'll put myself on mute there. The other way around. Leah, would you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, of course. Hi, so I'm Leah. I am 24. I almost gave the wrong age there as well. Yeah, 24. I've got Crohn's disease, and I have had Crohn's diagnosed since I was 21, but had symptoms and everything. Had a really long diagnosis since I was probably about 14. So yeah, been quite a while, quite a rocky road.
Yeah, it's like, how are you doing at the moment with your Crohn's?
I'm really good. Currently in remission. Haven't had a flare for a while, so it's going well. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, because it's good you're doing all right, because I think it was 2020, wasn't it? We last did it.
Yeah, pandemic. Yeah, ages ago. And it was, I think it was quite bad then as well. I was in talks about getting surgery, and it was my last chance was Humira, and it worked. So yeah, it's been good.
Are you still on Humira now then?
Yeah. Well, actually, it's Angivita, but same medication, just different brand. But it's going well.
Yeah, I'm on the same. I think I said as well. So yeah, I'm still on it as well. Which is it's pretty crazy. It's nice when it works for a while. Let's hope it works longer than it is, don't we?
Yes, yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's great to have you back here, Leah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm glad you're doing all right.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Yeah. Lucy.
Hi, so I was diagnosed with Crohn's late 2019. So I was 23 and then I'm 26 now. I went rapidly downhill. I ended up with surgery in 2020. Had my op, got an ileostomy now. Been pretty good ever since, touch wood. On infliximab still, and yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. Well, so how long have you been on? I know we only did this the other week, but for anyone else maybe who's interested, like how long have you been on like in infliximab?
So I started beginning of Feb 2020, because it was like it was like a last shot before I had surgery. It stopped things getting worse, but it didn't make anything better. So I still ended up with surgery in July, came off it for a few months, and then I was back on it by August 2020. So like I think it was a month or two after my and then a couple of months ago I swapped to the injections instead of the infusions. So instead of weekly infusions, I just do the injections every other week. Got to do it after this, actually. That just reminded me. I keep forgetting, but yeah.
Okay. Well, it's glad everything's going all right, and like good to have you back after I think about 2 weeks. Yeah. Sally, hello. You might have to take yourself on mute. I can't hear you still. But you're off mute. Still can't hear you. Can you hear me? Oh, you can hear me. That's weird. You're back on mute, but whether you're on mute or not, still can't hear you.
Now without that.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. We'll do it this way then. Fine. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
So hi, I'm Sally. I'm 38. I was diagnosed with Crohn's in 2017. They found out that I had perianal Crohn's. So I had fistula and abscesses in places you don't want them within the pelvic region, and had to have my first operation literally a month after I was diagnosed. The following year, I had a really bad flare-up and then ended up having to have an ileostomy and start immune suppressants, and I've been on them ever since. And my temporary ileostomy, which was only supposed to be for 3 months, I still have today, and will probably be turned into a colostomy, a permanent one, at some point, but we're still just on the drugs, seeing what the drugs do, and that's how it is at the moment. Oh, and it's also gone and given me inflammatory arthritis as well. So I've got a third immune suppressant to try and keep that under control.
Yeah, it's a pain being all these like kind of drugs that dampens your immune system, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a nightmare. Like I've just had a sinus infection. It's taken me 2 lots of antibiotics to be able to get rid of it. And it started off as a cold, and then I had my infusion, and then it went into a infection that I just couldn't get rid of.
Yeah.
So they're gone now.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah. Because because it's good it's gone. Like it's never nice to be having that kind of stuff around near Christmas.
No, not at all.
No. But yeah, we did our episode last year, so I can't remember what month it was, but I know it was last year.
Sometime last year.
Yeah, sometime last year. But yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Because to be on all these drugs, that like because you don't want to be on them, but you have to be on them to help your Crohn's and like your IBD and stuff.
Yeah, there's so many side effects, and I remember before they put me on the azathioprine, I read the side effects, and it's hair loss, high risk of skin cancer, and they were some really scary side effects. But I was so ill and in so much pain. In the end, I was like, I'm gonna have to take it because I don't want to carry on the way I am, and I need to see if it helps. And I think, like Leah said, like, it hasn't made me any better, but it's kind of kept me how I am. So I'm not in pain, I'm not flaring, so as good as I can ask, really.
Yeah, it seems like everyone here is not in a massive amount of pain, so it's good. Because yeah, you don't want to be in pain. do we?
No, I've been there where I'm taking painkillers constantly, and like the painkillers they don't get rid of the pain. They, I don't know, make you dozy.
Yeah.
You're kind of drowsy and dozy, but the pain's still there. It's even with the inflammatory arthritis. You'll take something, I don't know, say codeine, and it just makes you drowsy, but your hands still hurt. And yeah, there's just no way to get rid of it.
Yeah, it's very tough. It's very tough because like among having maybe like Crohn's or also colitis, you're prone to get other things like arthritis, like skin cancer, like hair loss as well, which I actually experience because I used to have quite thick hair, and as I got thin hair now. But I've been on azathioprine ever since I was diagnosed in 2017. And I either go on a high dose or a low dose, and I want to go off it. And I have a meeting with my consultant in January, and hopefully I'll be on less, hopefully, because I haven't been in pain. Yeah, the only thing I've had is maybe blood in my stools, or maybe my levels are maybe a little bit out of range. Maybe not a little bit, but not painful, because you can be in a flare and have not a painful flare. Maybe your Crohn's or colitis levels would be just completely out of it. I think. But yeah, it's good to see you're doing all right, Sally. Because to anyone who doesn't know Sally, me and Sally actually went to the same hospital and had our I don't know if we had the same treatment, but we was in the same ward where we might have the same treatment. I don't know, but
yeah, I think we might have done for a while, and then you had to change onto the injections.
Yeah.
But yeah, we used to be like on the same 8-weekly infusion, didn't we?
Yeah, because infliximab it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it worked quite well with COVID. I think that did, because then I don't have to go in anymore.
Yeah, that was my only outing during COVID. I stayed in my flat for 3 months, and it was like so exciting to go to the hospital and see people and talk.
Yeah. Like the only downfall in that ward was like a lot of people were older, like like probably separate from me and you, they're quite a lot of old people. Not from old people, but you couldn't really talk to them.
Yeah, you get quite a mix in there. Some weeks I go in, and sometimes, I don't know, I'll meet someone my age, but it's really rare. They tend to be a lot older.
Yeah, that's completely right. Yeah. And are you still doing that now? Like going in and having it?
Yeah, every 8 weeks I'm in there. Yeah, I did have quite a good stint over the summer because my trough levels have been really low, and so they gave me a double dose of infliximab. Oh, and my joints were flaring up really badly, so they gave me a double dose of infliximab. I felt incredible, like everything went away. It was amazing. And I was like, please, can I stay on the double dose, please? And they're like, no, it's not enough money for funding, and you can't. So unless you go back to the single dose and you flare up again, and we've got evidence, we can try and get the funding, but otherwise you've got to go back to the single dose. And since I've gone back to the single dose, my hands hurt all the time, my hips, my knees, my feet. I think I need it to swell up and I need to go have a flare, and then they'll increase the infliximab again if they'll can get funding for it.
Yeah. So
But
yeah, it's good. It's good when like something works, isn't it? Is it?
well, it's just incredible. You kind of get given this opportunity, like you get, you know, to feel incredible. Like I took more days on at work and I was able to do so much stuff. And then I knew it was coming to an end. And when I got given the last dose, I was like begging them for like more, because I was like, I don't want to go back to hardly being able to walk and being in so much pain and being so tired. Whereas when I was on the double dose, I felt almost normal and I could do the same as anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really good, because like Lucy, you it's on infliximab as well. So like so you both on infliximab still. Unfortunately, I'm not, but but yeah, it seems that infliximab is a common drug for people with IBD. So it's good it's working for you guys. Richard, are you on any medication at the moment?
Yeah, I'm currently on medication at the moment. So the medication I'm taking is Azicol, azathioprine, 50 milligrams and 25 milligrams. I'm taking folic acid. What else? I'm taking iron tablets. I think. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. Although I am taking vitamin D tablets, but not that that's prescribed to me. But I've been told I should take a vitamin D tablets to sort of help. But I'm just currently taking that as well as me medication for Crohn's. Yeah, I'm also on the Stellaire injection, which I have to have every 8 weeks.
And is that working all right?
Yeah, it seems to be working all right at the moment, the Stellaire injection. I have to have nurses come round my flat and take it for me. And once they take it, they have to stay at least, 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes, if that. Just to see if I get any reaction to it.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, because I've been on Stellaire. I think it's been a year now.
A year.
Yeah, now. Yeah, because I was put on it. I was put on it last year. I was. I had to have an infusion.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think it was obviously full of the Stellaire, and then I was obviously put on the injection.
So you're on azathioprine, vitamin D, acid,
yeah,
some inab injection. I can't remember it all.
it's Stellaire.
Oh yeah, you're on that. Yeah. So lots of medication, Richard.
Yeah.
Do you have a box to put it all in so you remember what to have?
I've been thinking about getting one. I just never got round to it. But apparently, I've been told that they do help, and so I will have to I will have to get one at some point.
Yeah.
I think my local chemist, actually, I think I've seen him in my local chemist.
They are like I have one. I've like Monday to Sunday, and then I have my morning tablets. I have to have before breakfast, which would be azathioprine. Yeah, I've azathioprine and some and my I've all my medicine, and then I have it for the night time as well, which is helpful. I think it is pretty cool. Well, not cool to have the medication and that, but it's helpful you to remember if you forget, because even sometimes I forget.
Yeah, it does. It does help, because there have been times where I've actually forgotten to take the certain medication.
Yeah.
It could also it kind of helps to I believe it would help, or the box helps if you're, say, running out of a certain medication.
Yeah, it
That's why,
does. Yeah, it does. And sometimes if I forget what the day is, I'll take the wrong day and I have to mix it around.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because there have been certain medications I do run out, and I just have to put it down on the prescription to sort of get it ordered, and obviously post it at my local GP, and just get it ordered, which of course I know takes about a couple of days normally with me, which ain't too bad, but yeah, it gets to you. It gets to my my local chemist as soon as, really.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see you're doing all right, like with having all your medication, Richard.
No, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Leah, what have you been up to since we kind of last spoke? Have you been doing much?
Not really. So I started a new job, so things going well there. And then in terms of illnesses, I mean, I guess I put one down, I picked another one up. I actually got diagnosed with epilepsy last year, so it's a new thing. But yeah, everything is going fine. So feeling happy and healthy, just been working, studying. I'm doing alongside my work, I'm doing a qualification in finance. So just been very busy, really. So I'm glad that I'm kind of feeling a lot better than what I was, say, last time we spoke, because yeah, it's really helpful when I'm so busy.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. Yeah. It sounds like a few things happen there, like with epilepsy. Like I guess because it affects everyone different.
Yeah.
For you, is it with the lights like flashing that really is that one of them that affects you, or is it not?
No. So it's actually like a really weird type. All of my doctors actually thought it was like panic attacks or something to do with my heart. They referred me to a cardiologist for an arrhythmia. But essentially, I just get like, it sounds strange, but the only ways to describe it is like, imagine you're on a roller coaster and your tummy goes, or imagine like, when if you go out or something, you wake up the next day, people say they get like ear fear or something. And that kind of feeling of dread, you just get this like overwhelming fear of like dread, and this like feeling of like impending doom, and then just get like this kind of like, it's almost like you would imagine like a vision to feel, but it's just this horrible, sicky, like I feel like something really bad's gonna happen feeling, like just this awful feeling. It only lasts like 30 seconds or so, but they come in clusters. So if you're having you won't get any for like a while, and then all of a sudden you'll just be having them all day for a week, and they can be like really draining when you're having them and stuff like that. Like in and of itself it's fine, but if you're having a cluster of them, not particularly great. But yeah, it's called a focal aware seizure, so it's like only in your temporal part of your lobe, whereas I think like a tonic clonic, for example, which is the one that everybody thinks of when you think of epilepsy, that's in two quadrants of your brain, and neither of them are what kind of I have. So yeah, it's a really strange one.
Yeah. So first time I've heard of that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really strange. Not many people have kind of heard of it. Like I know that like even absent seizures and stuff, for example, some people haven't heard of, but there's different kind of like categorizations to them. So there's like simple, partial, complex partial, simple complex, stuff like that, then you can refer to them by like the type of brain that it affects, and all sorts of stuff really. But yeah, that's the new advancement in health.
I guess in a way, like, although the epilepsy you have it isn't great, like at least, like, if you like parties, like I don't know, like if you see those lights, you might be alright with it.
Yeah.
Like, because I, like, where I live, there we have a pier, which I guess most people here do have a pier where they live. But my pier have changed. They changed it. So for people with epilepsy, like with the lights, like don't like the lights, they are probably, then it's not good for them, because you go in, you know, when you normally go into an arcade and it has like everything's lighting up, like really flashing, and it, as soon as you go into this, like the pier now, it's almost like the arcade is scattered like in a circle where you have all that, and it's really dark as well. And then you have some rides. It's pretty new. And yeah, I was thinking, like, for people with like epilepsy who get seizures for like the lights and that, they're not really thinking of them. So
Yeah, no, definitely. That's not good.
yeah.
Not good at all. But yeah, it actually is, there's so many different types, it's crazy. I mean, I didn't even know that it existed. It actually only happened to find out what it was because when I was referred to like cardio, because they thought it could have been an arrhythmia, there was like a neurologist that was talking to the cardiologist at the time, and she mentioned it 'cause she was like, oh, like, I don't know what this is. And he was like, no, refer her to me. I think I know what it is. I think it's a seizure. I think she's got epilepsy. And like, other than that, it's, not very, very common. But yeah, really strange. But hopefully the lights at the pier don't cause that much of an issue for anybody. 'Cause that's a shame.
Yeah, it is it's a shame. Like, even if I don't, I think for people who don't have epilepsy, it make you dizzy anyway. Like all those lights.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
Especially without a warning as well, because if it was fine before, then people with photosensitive epilepsy might turn up and it not be fine that time. So yeah, shame, but fingers crossed everyone's okay with it.
Yeah, I hope so. Like when I was diagnosed with autism, I was actually told that I would get I was supposed to have epilepsy, and I don't. So like the people with autism I have, I was just told I was going to have epilepsy, and I didn't. But like you say, like you can get lots of other things, not just having like like just one thing, like maybe Crohn's. Like you can have, as years go on, like you have other things as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You put one down, you pick another one up.
It's quite
Never
common.
simple. Yeah, no, it is definitely.
It's quite
It's
common.
like chronic illness bingo. Like someone's called that before. They're like, yeah, you just kind of just cross off everyone that you've got.
Yeah.
I feel like that sometimes, definitely.
Yeah, it's very common. Like I diagnosed autism first, and then Crohn's later on, and then I think Rich was the same there as well. And we and yeah, it's crazy because you don't want to get anything else, do you? But
No,
yeah,
no, I'll stick with just the two.
yeah, maybe the power of three. But down the line.
Don't say that. Do you know what? I'll be letting you know when the third one happens. You'll have manifested it. It'll be your fault.
2 years time. But if I do this 2 years time again, it'd be like, I've got someone else. Yeah. But yeah, it's well, like it is very common. Like like
Yeah.
with a chronic illness, either you might not get diagnosed with it first, but yeah, it is common, which isn't like it's crazy, but I guess we have it because we can cope in ways with it. as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely have it good at the moment, and I'm lucky in comparison to even some of you on the call. You guys have been through a lot rougher than I seem to have. So
Yeah.
props to you guys. It will get better, hopefully.
Do you take azathioprine too, Leah?
No. So I did. I was put on it after my so when I got diagnosed, put on like a course of steroids straight away, and then my long-term medication was supposed to be azathioprine or mercaptopurine. I think I started on azathioprine, and it made me so poorly. Like I literally couldn't have a bite to eat without throwing up. I was so unwell off azathioprine. Didn't help my Crohn symptoms and just made me so poorly. And it was the same with my mercaptopurine, and it just got to the stage where my IBD doctor was just like, just stop taking it. Like, just don't take it. Like, it's just making you even worse. So yeah, I am not on azathioprine. Just Amgevita. It's called Amgevita, isn't it? The adalimumab injection. Yeah, so just on Amgevita, obviously your different vitamins and stuff, and supplements, and then my epilepsy tablets.
And do you take them? Is that something you have to take every day?
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you have a little box as well?
I don't. I used to have one when I was on loads and loads, but now I'm on much less, fortunately, because one of them's an injection. So instead, I just have on my health app on my phone, I have everything that I take logged, and then it'll like pop up on my phone every time that I'm meant to take like whatever tablet it is.
Yeah.
And you can customize them with little icons so each thing looks like the medication you're taking, and then I have to click on the app and press taken when I've taken it. So
Oh.
that's how I remember.
That's a good app. What is the app called?
It's just a health app on your
It's
phone,
awesome.
like
Oh,
on your iPhone that's already downloaded. You can just, I think there's like a medication section on it.
Oh yeah, I know the health app. It's like it tracks how many steps you do a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like for anyone who likes to walk in, like if you don't have your phone with you don't track anything.
No, well, exactly. Well, it's the same with me because because obviously I work I work from home most of the time now, so I've got a walking pad. So it's basically like a treadmill but without like the big bars and everything, quite lightweight, and you just walk on it while you work. But it doesn't pick up my steps on my watch because my wrist is like still typing away. So I've had to get like an extender so that I can put it around my ankle so it'll track my steps while I'm walking.
Yeah, that is good. Like I used to have a Fitbit, and then like with family, and we all had the Fitbit watch, and there was like a table. It was like Premier League football or something like that, and then like you have this table, this chart, and people will just, because the thing about the Fitbit, you don't have to move. You can do this with your hand, and it counts a step. And people like it was like a real good competition, and I think this was in like 2020ish when lockdown kind of started, and you wanted to go out for walks a lot, and then like people were just overtaking the lead. Yeah, some people going so far in front, you're thinking, how on earth are they doing this? And they must be just doing that with their arm like for like an hour or 2 hours, and then they're gaining their steps. Yeah, it's quite fun.
I have to
I
admit,
used
I
to
have been guilty of doing that.
Sorry, I used to
No,
increase my steps when I was riding my horse. It would like count the horse's steps as my steps. And I'd be like, I did not do that many today.
Yeah.
Oh, I just take the win. I just say I did them. No, I've been guilty of doing that because on an Apple Watch you've got like a stand circle and you have to stand 12 times a day. And if one day I haven't quite got there, I'll just sit there and shake my wrist until it counts my my stand.
Yeah, you could like if you feel a bit lazy, put it on a fan maybe, and it goes round and round and round.
That's clever.
Maybe don't put it super fast. It might break. But yeah, back in the day, the Fitbits were the thing, but now it's all with Apple Watches now.
Yeah, definitely. I'm Apple dedicated. Everything's Apple.
Yeah, yes, it's crazy, but yeah, it is good. Like when like maybe not this time of year because like it's dark now as we're speaking, and yeah, when it's this time of year, you kind of don't want to do anything really, do you?
No, definitely not. I'm not a fan of the cold.
Hey, I've just been
Sitting.
out in the dark and the rain with a head torch on, feeding my horses, and apparently I've now done 10,000 steps. So, but it's horrible.
Nice. So yeah, I can only get my steps in if I use my walking pad. But it's really good though. If anybody works from home, I would recommend one.
Yeah,
I've not heard of them.
Yeah, it literally is just like a treadmill, but without like the big bar and stuff, just like a flat, lightweight kind of treadmill. And then I just like put my desk up and down and walk and like work away, type on my laptop as I'm working.
That's really cool.
It is, it's really good. Like honestly, some days I can get in like over 20,000 steps
Wow.
just walking and working.
yeah,
Crazy.
that's pretty good. Lucy, do you have a tablet box?
No, I feel like I'm pretty boring. I literally just take my infliximab. I do my injection every other week, and that's it. And even that I forget to take quite often. I've only been on it for 2 or 3 months, so I'm kind of used to my appointment letter telling me to go in for an infusion. Otherwise, I forget. I set reminders on my phone and all sorts, and I just can't remember.
Okay.
But no, I don't take anything else really. Just the injections.
Do you just go in for your 8-week injections?
No, I do them at home now.
Oh, you don't know.
Every infliximab started doing pens, so you can inject, like your Humira and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I do that every 2 weeks. But I just always forget. I try and do like treat myself or something after it, but it still sometimes isn't enough to actually do it. I haven't got my head around it yet.
Yeah. Every time I have an injection every 2 weeks, I will have a lolly. My favourite is a Solero, so I'll have a Solero.
I
But
love that.
yeah, if it's not a Solero, whatever's in the freezer. But yeah, sometimes it's different at each time, isn't it? Like every time you have it, like you may feel good, you may feel not so good because it might be painful. But yeah, I didn't know infliximab were doing that. That is very interesting. I would have loved it for them to do that when I was on it.
Yeah, I don't
I was
think
thinking
they're
they've
doing
not
it a
told
lot.
me about it.
Oh, I just got a phone call a couple of months ago saying, do you want to try? Basically, I think the hospital were having issues, so they were like, do you want to try it? And I was like, okay, go on then. And they offered me my infusions back, but I'm trying to get used to the injections because then I have to go in less. It's just a bit of a hassle. But ask about it. It's worth a try.
Yeah, I will, definitely.
Yeah. It seems these medications are improving. But I guess if things like you have an infusion kind of as an injection form, which is is that a syringe, Lucy, or is it like an EpiPen kind of type injection?
It's just like the pen. So I say it's easy. It's more like the mental barrier you put in your head because you're having to inject yourself. So once you get past that, it's not that bad. I find myself, I psych myself up for like 45 minutes and then it's over in 10 seconds and then I'll do something and treat myself. I might get a McFlurry tonight or something.
Yeah.
Something to take the edge off.
Yeah, it is nice. Something that you can eat as well, like ice cream. It's nice if you can eat ice cream. If you can't eat ice cream, it's on you can. Like you might want to have a lolly. I don't know. Ben and Jerry's ice cream. I don't.
Good choice.
Which it is really nice. Like what I normally do is I will either laugh, I will either scream. I don't, it depends. Like sometimes it hurts like more than others, but even though I do want to say something anyway, like because I don't know, you just let someone out, like you feel good maybe, that you're not just saying nothing when it goes in, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I know the first my IBD nerve stabbed my leg and I started squealing, and they were like, "Oh no, have you? Does it hurt?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just just expressing myself."
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of like that because I went for a sigmoid osteopathy last year, shortly after my birthday, which I was.
That's a bad birthday present.
Yeah. Like I would much prefer it before, and the annoying thing was because back then you had to have a COVID test to see if you had COVID, and you had to go to the hospital. Well, not the hospital, but near the hospital for them to do it. So you stick your arm out the car and they do it. But the thing is, they did it wrong that time because something went wrong where I had to go back again, which was annoying. And then I did it again and I had it done. But the thing is, when I had the actual sigmoidoscopy, I didn't have sedation. I had gas and air, and because I liked the feeling of it, I liked the feeling that it may feel a bit drunk. And I had it, and then help a guy next to me. So I said, I need more, I need more, I need more, I need more, and then it comes to a point where he says, you can't keep having it, and I said, why? Because you're just doing it for the sake of it, and I said, yeah, no.
I like it.
Yeah, and then he said you should only use it if you're in pain, and then when I was in pain, I couldn't use it because I keep using it for it. And then I was kind of squealing, like saying I was in pain and stuff during it, which I would say sedation is better. But the reason I didn't want it because I didn't want to stay in extra 20 minutes afterwards, and my appointment was on the morning. So people in the morning are normally grumpy, and I didn't want to be there any longer.
And I had one a few weeks ago, a flexi sig, and to see if I could have my reversal. And I didn't have the sedation either, but mine was it was 6:30 at night, my appointment, but it was about 8 o'clock by the time I went into the room, and they said, "Oh, well, you might be here for 4 hours after if you have sedation." So I was like, "No, just give me gas in here. I'm not staying here till midnight on a Wednesday." But it wasn't that bad, but I've got no active disease at the moment, so I guess if you actually do have active disease or any strictures, things like that, it's going to make it a lot more painful.
Yeah, like like when I had the colonoscopy when I was diagnosed with Crohn's, I did have sedation because it was both, because a sigmoidoscopy is only just one, it's not the throat one, is it? So it's not as bad.
Yeah.
And I thought, I've gas now. It's supposed to make you laugh. They call it laughing gas. I didn't laugh once. So I like to see why they call it laughing gas. Yeah, I was waiting to laugh, and then I just laughed for the sake of it, I guess, in the end.
If you don't laugh, you'll cry. One of those situations.
Yeah. That was the first time I had a enema as well. And funny story, guys, when I had the enema, like I don't know if any of you guys have had an enema before. Probably.
Yeah.
But when I had mine, I never had it before. So I was pretty new. And it, like when I had my sigmoidoscopy, someone I knew did it, so I thought, "Oh, okay, it did more comfortable." And then I put it up there, and I'm saying, "Oh, that's a bit different." And then they say to me, try and wait your longest you can to go to the toilet." I was like, "Okay, not too bad then." And then 2 seconds later, like, because you're in your hospital bed, and I wasn't that far from the toilet, but I couldn't wait. And then I think the nurse in there said, "Do you want me to roll you to the toilet in your hospital bed?" And I said, "Roll? I'll be going in the toilet." In the bed, sorry, not the toilet. Well, I did go in the toilet, so I ran to the toilet, and I was in there for about 30-40 minutes because I did not want to go up and down like a yo-yo. So I just stood there. Well, I sat there. And then unfortunately there was quite a lot of blood when I'm going, but which when I had the sigmoidoscopy, everyone was cool. I think I had where they noticed I might have had a bit of my levels were outrageous a little bit, but it was okay. But yeah, we don't like those kind of things, do we? Like those kind of sigmoidoscopy.
No, they're not fun.
No.
Yeah. Have you had one, Richard?
No, I haven't. To be honest, since when you mentioned about enema, I'd never really heard of it before until now, tonight. To be honest, but yeah, never had one before.
Yeah.
It sounds like a bit of an interesting story when you mentioned that you had one. Got the roll into the toilet bit. And wait, you had to wait until you really need the toilet.
Yeah, like supposed to make you got like when you have a when you have to prep maybe for a colonoscopy where you have to drink the drink that makes you go to the toilet, where you have to drink maybe every 15 minutes, and that makes you go for a number two. It was supposed to make you go for a number two. In my case, it didn't because I was empty anyway before I was diagnosed. But with an enema, it's just it's another way to make you go to the toilet.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like a laxative.
Yeah,
Laxative.
yeah.
I've had oh yeah. But before I would have a colonoscopy, I had to take laxative, and I have to take a laxative called movie prep. And yeah, they are horrible and not very nice at all. But yeah, like you say, every 10-15 minutes it makes you go and have a number two. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Having all this stuff. Like there's also a rule you can't eat maybe in a period where you're having it. Like do you know, like it's not very nice. The drink, is it, like, Richard?
Oh, it's horrible. Like obviously I take it with I take the movie prep, i.e. the laxative, with a squash. Like say, like i.e. squash or whatever else. Just squash. That's I was trying to say i.e. anything else. I meant like the flavour of it. So. and yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's horrible. Like it's horrible drinking the stuff, but the way I try and help that is by putting. Actually, my mum had the idea of putting ice in it. It's helped me once, maybe twice, but the last time I drank the laxative with ice, yeah, it made me throw up, which was not nice. Was not nice at all.
Yeah, I never had ice in it. Yeah, like yeah, that's a new one, Richard. I have an ice in it.
Yeah, because once like I say, once or twice it did help me a bit, but I'd have to drink, like take a sip like probably once every 1-2 minutes. It would take me probably almost an hour to drink the stuff, if not maybe hour and a half, or just below.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying. Like how often you would have to do it, because it does take about 15 minutes to probably drink like the amount you've put in. So you have to drink your first jug of it, and yeah, not nice.
Yeah, you get like 2 sachets of the laxative, and yeah, like you say, drink 1 jug, and then at a certain time, and then you have to drink the other jug, drink the other jug with the next sachet full of the stuff at another certain time. And yeah, it's absolutely, like you say, not annoying to even to try and drink all of the stuff. Like, you just want to, like, in yourself, you just want to try and finish it, no matter how horrible it is.
Yeah, it's not good, but I guess we have to do it, don't we?
Yeah, unfortunately, for this colonoscopy to happen, yeah, we have to drink it. We have to drink it and go through hell drinking it.
Yeah, and I guess that it can be made the worst bit, depending what way you see it. Like with having it, like when Lucy said that she had to have hers she got in at 8 p.m. Which is quite anxious, because like you're probably maybe worrying the whole day about having it in the evening, and like maybe if it's in the morning, like you come to, maybe you can have your lunch and that, but I guess it's harder the later it is, because how long you've got to wait to be having it.
Yeah, yeah, because when Lucy mentioned that she had to have a colonoscopy in the evening, I've never ever known anyone to have a colonoscopy in the evening before, to be honest. Like mine's always been in the morning. Yeah, mine's always been in the morning. Like, and like you say, it's better to have it in the morning, because, like you say, you can have your lunch and everything, and then like the feeling of having whatever you want to eat like afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm wondering with Leah, I don't know, I'm sorry, not Leah, sorry, with Lucy, I don't know, because she says she's got an ileostomy, and I know when I last had a flexi sigmoidoscopy, because you've got an ileostomy, you're not using your rectum, therefore you've got no number 2 to pass through, because it comes out into your bag instead. So last time I had a flexi, I was able to eat, but I think it's only when they do the colonoscopy. But if you've got a stoma bag, they would, let me try and think. It depends where they've gone and chopped you, and like what part of your intestines is attached to what.
Yeah,
so
I know what you mean.
Yeah,
mine was because so mine basically the endoscopy unit are working extra hours to catch up with COVID anyway, because I've been waiting for this for like 18 months. So that was why it was a late appointment. But then I couldn't eat from midday, which was really hard because I was at work and there's always snacks everywhere. So I was trying, and it was someone's birthday, so I had to try and not eat the birthday cake. But they also went into my stoma. So like the flexi-sig part was fine, obviously it's not attached, but they were going into the stoma as well, because it was to see if they can reconnect. So I still had to not eat, but I guess it is easier than if you had a colonoscopy, because you don't have all the prep beforehand. So I had an enema beforehand, but obviously it didn't really do anything. And that was it. So it wasn't that bad in the grand scheme of things.
No, I've been quite lucky. When I last had, I'm sure it was the flexi I had, so I didn't have to do an enema. There was no prep at all, But then when I got to the hospital and the nurse was dealing with me, she kept saying, have you done your prep? Have you done your bowel prep? And I was like, well, I haven't been sent any. And she's like, well, have you not eaten? I said, no, I've eaten. And she's like, but you've got to be clear. And I was like, I've got a stoma bag, so nothing's coming out my back end. So it's fine. Like, my intestines aren't joined up. So my small intestine comes out my stomach. So I'll eat, the food goes in my tummy, it then comes out my small intestines. My large intestines are just sat there not doing anything. No food can go down them. And the nurse was like, I'm not sure about that. I need to go and talk to someone. I'm like, seriously, nothing goes through that part of my body. I was like, you're a nurse, surely you know the anatomy of a human. I was like, fine, go and ask someone, whatever, but I'll assure you nothing goes through there.
Mine was the same though, to be honest. She when I sat down, she was explaining the procedure to me, and then and I said, and she asked me if I had any prep, and I said, oh no, because I've got stoma. I'm just having, as I was told on the phone, I was having an enema. And she said, I don't think they can do it if you've got a stoma. And I said, well, my consultant knows I've got one and he's ordered it, so I think I can. And she went, no, I think you might have to go home, but I'll double check. And obviously she went and spoke with, I know, I spoke to a surgeon this morning, it's fine. But I guess they just have to check. They might get a lot of people in who don't do the prep and they waste their time or something, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
But
Yeah, so like we all have good fun when we have these kind of stuff. Sounds
yeah.
I had loads of fun that time because I went in and the last time I'd had a flexible sigmoidoscopy, they'd given me sedation and gas and air, and I was still writhing about on the bed and in a lot of pain. And they were like, right, I think we're gonna have to do it under general anaesthetic. So they did it under general when I had another procedure done. And then when I went to the London hospital and they wanted to do it, I said to them that they had trouble last time, they had to do it under general. I said, whatever you give people when they have the endoscopy, when they go down the throat, I said, give me whatever sedation that is, because then you don't know what you're doing, you just get knocked out, you don't remember it. And I think they can tell you to swallow, and I think you swallow, but you just don't remember. And I said, just give me that, knock me out, and it should be fine. And I woke up in recovery and they're like, oh, they can do it, do you remember? And I said, no, what happened? They said, oh, you were screaming loads. And I was like, I'm not a person that screams and makes a huge fuss. And they were like, yeah, you were screaming so much and screaming to stop so we can actually get the camera up in there. I was like, oh, sorry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No idea what was going on.
Yeah, I can't. Like that is strange, because you'd normally have, like, you know, like the some sort of like thing beforehand, not just going for it. Like I would say we can't really say one's worse than the other. Like out of the throat, like I know I remember when having it done, like saying that you got to swallow, and then you don't want to, you don't want to do it, and then they keep saying it, do it, you can do it, and then.
Did you do it without sedation, the endoscopy?
I did do it with it. I had that's when I went in to have, like, when having that kind of colonoscopy, I had both, I had the throat and then the at the bum. But and I had them one after the other. I think I can't remember which one was first, but I was sedated. Which yeah, I did have sedation. It had like the cannula and everything. So that, which they would normally do in 2 different appointments, but I just wanted to get over and done with, so not having to go back again. So I was sedated.
Yeah, sedation's always best to have.
Yeah. But you know, some people, like, I think it depends what age you are actually. Like if you're really young, I guess you do have to be put to sleep. And I know in other countries people do sleep for it, and like even if you're older. And I do find that like weird a little bit, because like, it doesn't take long, but I guess it depends on the person, like how you are with it.
it appears to be in America quite often. They seem to be like under general anesthetic when they have any of these procedures done, but then they have to pay for their like treatment, don't they, and their procedures. So I don't know if because they pay for it, that's the route they take, whereas because we're publicly funded on the NHS, I don't know, perhaps it's cheaper and it's quicker and they can get through more people, and I don't know if that's the reason why.
That I think so, like because it's different over there, because like you say, they have to pay for it all themselves, and like over here we get like you say, we get it for us. We don't really pay if we don't really have to pay, which is good. But yeah, I guess that's one of the reasons, maybe. But yeah, I don't know if I had the choice to sleep. I don't know. I might. Like it. I'm not too keen being away for the throat one. Like put the camera down your throat. But the highlight of the whole thing is the X-ray, I think. That's probably the highlight if you do look at it.
I liked watching when they're doing the colonoscopy, even though I was kind of quite jolly on the sedation. I was watching the screen as he's going through, so you can watch it on the telly as they go through your colon. You can see it all, and I was going, oh, is that an ulcer? Oh, have I got ulcerative colitis? And the doctor's like, no, you've got Crohn's, but yes, that is an ulcer. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so we all got Crohn's here. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, guys, it's been really nice to meet you all. Before we go, I'm just gonna give everyone the chance. I'll do it in backwards order. So Rich, you were first. I'm afraid you're last. So like everyone can have the chance if they want to say anything else. They have any advice, or just want to say how much they enjoyed it again. So I'm gonna start with you, Sally.
Oh, thank you. It's been great being on your podcast again. Love chatting to you and having a little catch up. Advice. Oh, I'd say it can be, I've described Crohn's as being, it's like being blindfolded on a roller coaster. You don't know what's around the corner. You don't know what's coming. You can deal with it. It's rubbish, but I say online and social media, there is the IBD community are amazing. Any questions, support, worries, the IBD community, you will find an answer and you'll find support out there. That's how I learn everything and learn how to deal with what I've gone through. You won't get the support from your doctors. They'll tell you what medicine to have, but they can't tell you how to live every day with the illness. So yeah, IBD community online, they're amazing.
Yeah, I completely agree, Sally. Yeah, they are, and it is a roller coaster, and I still want to ride a horse one day. I want to go to the Grand National.
You definitely have to do it. It.
Yeah.
Great.
I still need to do that, like, because of course, when you're on these drugs, it still hasn't changed for us who are on these medication, even though pandemic is over for some people, it's not for everyone. So it's still really hard, but yeah, I do want to ride a horse, and call him Martha. Yeah. Well, Lucy, have you got any last words?
Just thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. And mainly it's still an aside. Just talk to people. Talk to people online. The community is great, but as well, talk to your friends, talk to your family. Even if they don't have the condition and they don't understand, you'd be surprised what else other people are going through that they can relate with. A lot of my friends and family have told me things I never knew about them until I kind of start talking about my illness. They open up about their struggles, because everyone struggles with something. So yeah, just open up. You're not on your own. and it does get better, especially after those first few months where, well, or years for some people, where everything's just overwhelming and you just can't get things under control. Yeah, it does get better. And talk to people.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree, and it's been great to have you on again, Lucy. Like, I think it's been really great to have you back.
That's right. Thank you.
Leah.
Yeah, been lovely to be back on. So thank you for having me, and it's been lovely to kind of meet everyone and speak to you all. Last little top tip would be just going back to the movie prep that we were talking about, and so love so dearly. Block your nose, down it, and then I think there's certain things you can have open colonoscopy prep. Like I think you can have lemons, honey, stuff like that. Just get a big spoonful of like honey or like a chunk of a lemon or something, and once you've blocked your nose, down the full drink, have that, because it will take away the flavour, because like lemons are so citrusy and strong, and then you won't have that horrible taste of moldy prep straight after. That helps me, so give it a go.
Yeah, I've never tried honey. I don't like it. It sounds great for everyone who should try it. But when you speak of honey, it just reminds me of Winnie the Pooh, and knowing there's going to be an evil Winnie the Pooh movie going to come out at some point.
I've seen that.
Yeah. But yeah, for Leah, it's been great.
Thanks for having me.
Out of everyone here, you're the longest person who's been on this episode.
Yeah.
So it's been
a while. Yeah, it's been good to catch up.
Yeah, I think it was March 2020. I think it was.
Yeah.
If I have a good memory. But yeah, it's been great having you back there.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And Richard, you were last. So have you got a good thing to finish up here, Richard?
First of all, thank you for having me on a podcast once again, Mason. It's been great. My advice, I think, would be I think if you're getting any symptoms, don't ignore it. I mean, if I know on the last podcast we did, I kind of ignored it for a week or two because I thought it was just something different. But if you're having, say, like diarrhea, like a week or two, don't leave it any longer than that. Do seek some medical advice, like go to a doctor. Tell your family and friends as well. Like, I mean, they may not understand to begin with, but when you go to a doctor, or your GP doctor or anything like that, hopefully they can sort of find out what's going on, and they can and hopefully they can get the answer as soon as possible, which I know it may take longer for some people, because I know I've seen on social media that it's taken longer for people, but you might be lucky that you might get it diagnosed as soon as, but just don't leave it any longer than that. And of course, I know everyone on here says that the social media, people on social media can be great as well. So that's always nice. So yeah, I believe that would be my advice, really.
Yeah, I think it's good advice there, Richard. Well, thank you again, Richard. No
worries.
Yeah, because it wasn't long ago since we did our episode, so it's good to have you back on here, and everyone, and to anyone watching or listening, we hope you enjoyed this episode, where we all speak about Crohn's, because we will have it, and some of us have a few more things as well, that we've noticed in today. But yeah, like as we said earlier in the episode, hopefully number 3 we don't get a third anyone here. But yeah, I wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and yeah, thank you everyone, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and thank you.